Once upon a time, at a little guitar repair shop called Guitar Quackery, a customer walked in with a somewhat unusual Gibson acoustic guitar and requested service. The customer and the repair technician engaged in a conversation, and things did not go well. And to cut a long story short, they did not live happily ever after. There's no Chinese proverb that says fixing a guitar for a customer can get all the strings tangled up. Now, this is just metaphorically speaking. We're not talking about strings. We're talking about the relationship between the customer and the repair technician. In this case, that was me. And the customer was, well, the customer. And things didn't go well. Before I work on any guitar, I need to look at the guitar. I do what I call a full assessment so that I know what needs to be done. 9 times out of 10, this is done with the customer present so that, we go over everything one step at a time and we discuss service options. But sometimes it isn't possible for the customer to be there at a certain time. So if that's the case, I might record a video assessment and upload an unlisted video on YouTube and send the customer a link so we can discuss services or options after the customer had time to watch the private video. And that's what I did this time. And the customer watched through it, and then we agreed to talk on the phone, and things didn't end well. Now, I'm not going to get into the too many details, but I do want to show you what I saw first. So let's have a look at the guitar first. The guitar is a Gibson nylon string guitar, solid body, Chet Atkins model. Hasn't been played in a while. It only has 4 strings, a lot of dust around the bridge. I removed the control plate just to investigate a little bit. Yeah, we'll talk about that. The guitar initially had no output signal, but I guess I fixed it. I just opened it and moved some wires around and restored the output signal. So I guess there were just some unreliable wiring connections inside, which are still unreliable since I haven't fixed them. We want to have a look at the neck. So first we want to look at the frets. I marked off 4 frets with a red marker. Those are the high frets. So with a fret rocker, we can hear that it's rocking. The louder the rocking sound, the higher the fret is. So this one is higher here. And here's the 8th fret, which is really loud. So this fret is no good. We have a little bit of rocking here on the 15th fret. So now we know that we have 4 frets that are uneven. Next, we want to measure our neck relief using a straight edge and some feeler gauges. Now, we're going to measure at the 7th fret. I already took some measurements, so I know what to expect. We're going to start with this feeler gauge here, which is 11 1/1000ths of an inch. We try to fit it through. It doesn't fit. So next one down is 8 1/1000ths of an inch. Right, this one over here, which fits through snugly. So it could be 8 or 9 1/1000ths. I doubt that it's 10 because the 11 is really hitting this gap. So now we want to make, we want to take the same measurement on the other side, on the treble side. Let's skip a few. Let's go up to 18. So this is 18 1/1000ths of an inch feeler gauge. Let's try to fit this through here. It doesn't fit. So next one down is this one, is 16/1000 of an inch. Okay, and here we can fit it through. So now we know that we have an asymmetrical fretboard. We have 16/1000 of an inch of relief on the treble side and 8 or 9/1000 of an inch on the bass side. Not a big deal. I'm more worried about the uneven frets. I think the guitar will play just fine if the relief is not even. We want to have a look at the nut. So I'm going to do a standard quick tap test just to check if there's any relief on the nut. All right. So here we just rest the string on the second fret right here, and then we tap the string over the first fret. Now on the high E string, I don't see a gap. On the B string, I do see a little gap. That's our relief. Same thing on the G string, and same thing on the D string. We can also check the relief with a feeler gauge. Here it doesn't fit, but on the other ones it does fit. I can't really check the nut relief on the E string or the A strings. I can kind of fake it if I put the string like that. I can try to estimate if there's a little relief or not, but I will really know once I put the strings back on the nut. We also want to look at the nut up close through the microscope. So here we have, I'm focusing on the high E string. It's tight at the front end, which is how we want it. There's some light surface damage here to the nut. It's just cosmetic. The string wiggles a little bit inside of the string slot, but I don't think we're going to hear any kind of buzzing. Yeah, I can see that the string left an impression here at the front end, so I think we're good. In fact, we can even play it. I think it's fine. The G string slot does have a little damage here, but it's not at the front end, so at this point it is just cosmetic. The D string slot was filed a little too wide, but because of the side angle, the string will not be floating inside of the string slot, so I'm not worried about it. It seems like this string slot was filed a little too wide, but the E string slot seems to be fine. Of course, we don't know if it's too low. We do want to have a closer look at some of the electronic components. I was told that this guitar has been modified. So here we have a control plate with, I guess, 1 volume and 2 tone controls. This is not original to the guitar. Somebody modified it. We can see that this moves okay. This is also fine, but this one wiggles. So if we remove this plate, we can see what the problem is on the inside. Basically, whoever modified this added some potentiometers, I guess, and this potentiometer was mounted on an L bracket and just epoxied to the back of this plate, and over the years it came off. I wish the wires were a little longer. It would make it easier to work with, but it is what it is. Another thing we want to look at is this control cavity here. Because initially there was no output signal, so we want to look at the wiring a little closer. This wiring, most of it is, I think, factory, but this seems like somebody worked on it, and I did not unwrap the electrical tape, but this might be the area where there was a problem. So there might be some wires shorting out or something, I don't really know. If we remove the output jack plate, we can see that it's, I guess, okay. There's a lot of oxidation. So when we plug it in, we can see that it's a little bit spongy. So we could simply exchange the output jack, or we might be able to bend these a little bit, make it a little bit better than it is. This was the guitar that was on the workbench 2 years ago, and I didn't want to make this video, and I also didn't want to show you what I'm about to show you because I made a second recording, but I'm going to show you. First, let me tell you what went wrong between the customer and the technician. I look at the guitar, and I have one rule. When you pick up your guitar, after I worked on it, it's going to look, feel, and play like I worked on it, right? So I told him what needs to be done, and he started saying, whoa, we just don't have an output signal. That's all I want you to fix. I said, no. There's all these other things, right? Oh, that was done by a reputable shop. Well, who am I to fix after them? I said, excuse me? Did you see the video, right? The assessment. And, things kind of went sour in our conversation. And he said, tell you what, we're going to bag it. We're not doing it, right? I said, okay, come and pick up your guitar. And it was really the part about the service being done by a reputable shop, as if guitar quackery isn't reputable for some reason, right? But I want to show you how it was done by the reputable shop. And I know the name of the shop. I'm not going to tell you. It's actually a pretty well-known shop. But we'll look at their work, and I'm not going to name them. And that's what really rubbed me the wrong way. And I itemized the services, including, obviously, the string change. Did you see the strings? And he said, I'm not paying you for changing the strings. I said, I need to do the setup, right? I need to do fretwork and all that. Okay, anyway. So now let's look at the second video that I recorded after our phone conversation, which again, I was not going to show you, but here it is. I put the guitar back on the bench so that we can have a closer look at some of the work that had previously been done by this reputable shop, so that we can appreciate the workmanship and craftsmanship of this reputable shop. Should we look? So first thing we want to have a second look at is this thing. Well, like I kind of mentioned before, this is all difficult to service because the wires are so short. Also, this fell off because it was just glued onto this. And I don't really know if they used epoxy or something else, but clearly the surface was not prepped well enough. I don't know what kind of glue this is, so it just fell off. It's really hard to service, right? Now, I'm going to flip the guitar over, but before we flip it over, let's have a look at the condition the guitar was brought to me, okay? So here you can really see what I see. I don't think I need to narrate this. Let's have a look at the bridge over there. should I say that it's seen better days? So somehow I have a feeling that this guitar's been sitting around for, what, 10, 20 years? And then he drops it off here, and he calls me every couple of days. Hey, is my guitar ready? Yeah, because for some reason, he is having a guitar emergency, I guess. But there's something hanging right here at the entrance of the shop. Speaking of guitar emergency, right? There's an old Chinese proverb that says this. So this is something to remember. Especially professional guitar players have a backup guitar, right? So there's no emergency. There's no such thing. See, I am putting 2 screws there to hold the plate because I want to kind of do what a reputable shop would do. I wouldn't want to flip the guitar over and have this just be pulled by gravity, which is all around us on this planet. But I do want to have a closer look at how this reputable shop, I'll use this light here, how this reputable shop did this, whatever wiring conversion they did, okay? Which is, I have to mention what actually failed, which is why he brought the guitar to this shop. I don't know how reputable the shop is, but that's why he brought it here. So, if we look at this, we can see here that this was just kind of like, I don't know, secured with electrical tape. Now, electrical tape is to me like more like a handyman job, not really a refined, reputable luthier, guitar repair tech kind of job. Okay, and obviously something is not right here because we are having an intermittent connection, which is the whole problem. So I didn't do anything. I didn't fix anything. I just opened this thing and I just looked. Maybe I moved some wires and all of a sudden I get output signal. Why? So that's it. I'm just noticing something else. Well, why don't we have a look at that as well? I didn't even notice at first. So what I'm seeing here is how this battery is just badly seated in this inside of this battery clip, and you can't see this from here. I guess we need a light, and just when I need a light, I cannot find one. Here it is. So here there's a screw head that's actually preventing this battery from being seated all the way, right? That's how they did it. A reputable shop. You can see that right there, okay? And the battery is also pinching all these cables down there. So we remove this black cable. I'm afraid to move it too much. But yeah, so you can see how the gray cables on the bottom are being pinched by the battery. Can we have a closer look? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm done with this guitar. Yeah, I'm done. I declined to just fix the output jack and, charge a couple of dollars for, who knows how tangled up would that wiring be? These things can get tangled up and people don't even get it then. So I got to do the whole job or I do nothing. Every guitar that leaves the shop needs to be playing and looking as if I worked on it. So if you go back in time and you go visit Michelangelo and you say, oh, can you make a bust of my, yeah, sure, yeah. That'll cost this much. Oh, yeah, you know what? You don't have to like get into like all those little details that you usually do. Just, make it kind of more roughed in and, so that I don't need to pay you that much. Well, Michelangelo would say, well, hold on. If you hire me, you're going to get a Michelangelo. I'm going to do it my way, right? So same thing here. You bring your guitar to me, you get your guitar back as if I worked on it, not a mess. So that's something that some people don't understand, even if I emphasize it at the beginning. And, so I'll leave it at that. So I got this off my chest. I feel better. This was 2 years ago. I hesitated, and I finally posted this video. Oh, did you know that Guitar Quackery is now a membership channel? So I'll be posting videos in advance, not this one, but yeah, you can become a member. And also, Guitar Quackery is now on Instagram. Okay, there's also a Guitar Quackery second channel called Guitar Quackery Live. So I post announcements on Instagram 10 or 20 minutes ahead of time so that you can catch the live stream, because the live streams aren't scheduled. So how do you get notified in advance of the live stream? Well, you follow Guitar Quackery on Instagram, and that's how you will get notified before the live stream. The other thing is that I am posting some tech tips on Instagram because I can quickly record something and you can get value out of that. And there are some announcements on Instagram that I don't share here. So check this out. Now, see you soon.